Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Roker Rapport podcast. We have hit the wonderful milestone of 60. We don't have a birthday cake on our but...
No, we're meant to have sweets.
Yeah, we're meant to have sweets, but James is on garden leave. No, he's not really. He's just, I don't know, been on a mad one this weekend, I think, or something. But he's not in. So I'm your host, Connor Bromley. My first time in the job. I'm hoping not to embarrass myself. We've got Gav.
How's it going?
Good. And we've also got Jack the Jobber.
Hello.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I am a local, I don't know what I'm talking about, YouTube presenter / writer who predominantly covers wrestling. And I think if anyone who follows the Roker Rapport Twitter account knows, bit fond of wrestling, lads.
Yeah.
That's all right then.
Us two are. The rest of them are here.
That's why there's only us here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Everyone else fucked it off the day.
I should mention the name of the website that I work for. It's called Cultaholic.com, and the YouTube channel is also called Cultaholic. You might maybe have heard of me if you know about a place called What Culture, but we've since left for reasons that I won't get into. No, it's just wanting to start our own thing, and that's pretty much the long
I'm a subscriber. Content's good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Good content.
Lovely.
What Cultures went.
Whoa, I can't say anything about them.
Nah, I'm joking.
They still do the wrestling shows?
Well, yeah,
they do.
Yeah, no. I subscribe to both. Both good channels. Good lads on both channels.
Yeah, because you were there when Kurt Angle was there.
Yes, he's a very polite man. Very polite.
Yeah, I love that. Were you at the Kurt Angle show?
No.
Oh,
I used to watch them on.
He's not a
watch
wrestling
them
fan. Didn't go to the Kurt Angle show.
He was a furiously polite man. I was like, "How's your flight, Kurt?" "Good, thank you." Very like proper eye contact, proper serious. And I was like, "All right." I felt a bit intense. I was like, "Jesus."
Yeah, and they had that. I can't remember who it was, but they had the Bruce Springsteen video.
Joe Henry,
yeah, that's
local hero.
I've seen Joe Henry a few times. Cool, and he was with Ramlin. Nobody's going to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, right. So coming up on today's show, we're going to look back on Bristol, as we've dubbed it now. The game against Bristol City on Saturday. We're going to discuss some individual performances, ponder on some really bad goals that we conceded. Although Bristol City probably think they conceded worse goals since they scored 2 own goals. And we're going to look ahead to next week's game against Brentford, answer some Twitter questions, do the 3-word review. It's all going to be fun. I'm excited.
Let's go.
Okay. So, we'll start with the 3-word reviews. I don't know, do you want to hit your first, what are your 3-word reviews from the weekend?
Ooh. Up the arse.
Nice.
That's what it was. It was like a rocket up the arse.
Nice.
That got us where we went to be. So
Rocket
yes.
up the arse.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Up the arse.
The one that I saw most tweeted at me on Twitter after you announced that I was going to be on the show was WTF, which is 3 letters more than 3 words, but
yeah, but it's still what
still makes sense, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a weird game. Like, I was thinking, like, I'm going to be on the podcast. I hope there's plenty of incident to talk about. So there's lots to talk about. I hope it's not a 0-0 or something like that. And yeah, I wasn't expecting quite that level though of drama.
Yeah. I don't actually think we've drawn 0-0 this season. I don't
Someone's
think so.
going to pull up on that.
Yeah, probably. Alright, okay, so Only One Kino says Connerys are us. Robert Grimwood says absolute scenes, mate. Andrew Cameron says Joel fucking Azoro. Zach Steinbank says 442 with a picture of Mike Bassett in the manager.
Fantastic.
Yeah, good film. Well, not really terrible film, but
Whoa,
brilliant film.
Yeah,
Mike Bassett. Oh, it's a classic, I suppose, but it's rubbish.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like a good rubbish film.
Yeah.
Peter Wilson says what just happened. Oscar Brownswood, TM, trademarked, says holy sweet Christ. Tim says the Sunderland way. Ian says C can play. Graham Bell showed some spirit. Dinero Miguel, that's a very flamboyant name.
Latin American, I think.
What just happened? Am I high by Hoggett? Maybe. I don't know. You tell me. My brother Niall Bromley says I'll take second. I don't know what that means. I'll take second.
Bottom? Second bottom?
Yeah, that's right.
I'll take second bottom.
Maybe not.
That just seems a bit silly to me.
Your brother. You're going to have to ask him after this.
Sunderland, New York / New Jersey. You see, very continental we are. Says, who is OG? I presume he's referring to own goal. It's probably like West second top scorer now.
Yes, he actually is. Is it? I think he is, yeah.
Own goal. Not ideal. Tom Atkinson, who is an editor for Roker Rapport, says build on momentum. Johnny Goldsmith says happy Rusev Day. I presume that's...
I know Johnny.
Yeah, I presume that's a dude.
Well,
it's Lana and Rusev, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's a scary...
Every day is Rusev Day.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm obviously not with it.
Not sure how it's relevant to the game, Johnny, but cheers.
Mickey loves Sunderland me. Miguel again, he says Azoro Messi. You see just so much pandemonium. Little too late, some Paul Adams has said. Some people are being a bit negative. I had a bit of that in the group chat actually. Yeah. Negativity about that.
I think it was on the performance it was, like Jack says, it was a bit hectic like. I think you've got to take the positives from that. When you're 3-0 down and you manage to get a point, you can be negative about the goals and we will get into it because there was a lot of bad defending.
But I've actually got a really bad pun that I need to sing in first. So, are we ready to lay the smackdown on Sunderland?
Oh. Is this going to be a recurring theme of the podcast?
Give me a hell yeah.
And also, we've also got to say we are proud to be sponsored this week by our Twitter follower SAFC North Yorkshire. He responded to our sponsorship request.
We literally just said last week, does anybody want to sponsor us by buying our sweets?
Yeah.
The sweets are on. The sweets are on here today, by the way.
Copley has the sweets but hasn't turned up, so we don't have the sweets, but next week...
So you can sponsor us for 2 weeks, mate.
Yeah, you can have a free extra week.
Free week.
What sort of sweets were they?
It was like a retro sweet box off Amazon.
Yeah, it was like a bundle.
We had a bit of a bidding war going, didn't we? It was like him and another guy on Twitter.
The other guy
both sending photos, like a bigger selection of sweets. And in the end, he just gave up. You went, nah, can I compete against that?
So next week we'll have the sweets.
You won't be here though.
No.
Never mind.
Yeah, shit happens at the end of the day. Right, okay, let's just get straight into the game then. It was 3-3. The best comeback since 1991, I think I saw. We haven't come back from 3 goals. Jack, do you want to just take away? How do you feel watching it come through?
Well, I mean, I listened to the game, and you know when we're having a bad season, so every season, and you concede more. With every goal that goes in, you sort of... It's really bad. It's like a sign of apathy, I think. You sort of pay less and less attention to the game as it goes on. So when it hit half-time, I was barely paying attention. And then we got one back, and I was like, oh, it's all right, consolation. And then, honestly, at 3-2, I thought, there's no way. I was quite pessimistic, honestly, until... And then there was that unbelievable save, which, before I saw it, I thought... Because when you hear it on the radio, you expect it to be, even more amazing than it was. But it was one of those instances where the save was... as good as it sounds. I was like, I can't believe he's done that. Do you think?
Yeah, he should have scored. You should got to put that in a corner.
It's hard. The save was unbelievable.
But you put it in the one area the keeper could have saved it. I think that's a striker who is snatching. It's a bit harsh maybe to say snatching at his chances, but I think an informed striker would have put that away.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, take nothing away from the save, hell of a save, but I'm being harsh maybe.
But yeah, just to sort of sum up, I don't know. Generally, I was very confused with how to feel because I saw a lot of massive optimism on Twitter and stuff because we'd just come back from 3 goals down, obviously. But I thought I couldn't really let myself enjoy it as much because it all depends on the Brentford game. It all depends on how we follow it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, Carl Bridgewood asked on Twitter, would you blame the tactics or the players for the horrendous first half? From what I saw, the players just didn't seem switched on and bothered, so I wouldn't have mattered what the tactics were.
Bit of both. If you watch the first goal, I mean, you've got to consider how early in the game it was. I mean, we're 4 minutes in when we conceded. I mean, why is our defensive line that high for a start? I mean, the pass is brilliant from the free kick, and the touch from Flint, to bring it down and score, great. But I mean, why is the defensive line that high? Why are we pushed up that high? You mean you're asking for a pass over the top to just land at someone's feet, and it did. Probably I mean, when you're preparing for a game and you're studying your opposition, Hayden Flint is the biggest threat in that team from set pieces, and after 4 minutes he scores from a set piece, and it just switching off. I think they switched off tactically. Maybe they were told to play a little bit higher, because I can't understand why you would do it unless you were told.
Yeah.
The second goal, the midfield just go completely missing. I think Browning. I've been a big fan of Tyus Browning this season at times, but I think he just looked mentally switched off. I mean,
it was a good pass again. It was a good pass for that goal, but you're right. He did sort of just let it trundle past him.
He did, and
lackadaisical.
Yeah, and I mean, even there's a few things with that goal. Really, I mean, John O'Shea takes 10 years to step up. The whole defence steps up apart from O'Shea, and that split second difference. He steps up too late. The pass gets through. But then you watch. Obviously, Clark Salter's trying to breaking his neck to get on the line to block the shot, and Browning kind of just trundles back. I've seen a few people suggesting that he might be injured and playing through an injury, which would kind of explain why he's not sprinting at full pelt. But I mean, you can kind of mistake that, can't you, for bad workmanship if he is indeed injured, but we don't know. I'm being told that. And then the third goal, I mean, it's just, again, just sloppy defending, sloppy play. We didn't cover ourselves in glory at all, really. And I think the problem when you go 1 goal down the game is it's a bit of a kick in the guts. You can't. It's hard to refocus when you've planned all week for a certain game plan and style and tactics and what have you. 4 minutes it goes in the bin because you're 1-0 down and you're immediately on the back foot. And going into half time, I think it was pretty clear the manager had given them a rollicking. and I guess that's what pulled us over the line, you know. I mean, I'm a big detractor of Billy Jones and Lee Cattermole, but they played a massive part in the comeback, you know. The first goal, Jones's ball in, perfect. I mean, I'm not a fan of Billy Jones at all, but you've got to give credit. That was a great ball in.
It's a good header from Cattermole as well.
Good header. I mean,
I don't know how
probably
he was
the first
so
time.
open as well. Maybe just because the ball was so good.
Probably because they just were like, oh, Lee Cattermole's in the box.
Yeah.
He's definitely not going to do anything. So,
Nosebleed territory for him, innit?
yeah, I mean, he came close to scoring against Derby, wasn't it? That's it, this season for him. I mean, in terms of performances, Azoro continues to look like probably our best player at the minute, the last month.
I said in our group chat before, I think Soro is probably the most improved player since Coleman came. I mean, I honest to God, I watched him earlier in the season for the 23s maybe 5-6 times, and every game he was crap. Never once looked even on the same level as players his own age. I mean, but since Coleman's came along, he's just improved a bucket load. I mean, I think when you watch him play, it's quite clear he's just been told, look, don't worry about holding possession, trying to create chances by crossing the ball in the box. It's not your strength. Just commit a defender, go one-on-one with a defender, try and take him on, try and beat him, try and get the ball in the box, because that's all he does. And to be fair, that's his strength. He's quite good at it. He's got a lot of pace, which is hard to deal with. And I think if you watch that third goal back, I mean, Soro totally rinses his man, and obviously we'll get very lucky with the goal. But I mean, the only reason we scored was because he was prepared to do that. And we don't have enough players who do that.
He's like I call him like an player. The opposition, when the opposition sees him with the ball, they go because they know that he's got that capability.
Like an unknown quantity.
Rinsing. Yeah, he's got the capability of rinsing the defender.
He hasn't had his raw talent coached out of him yet, which normally happens with Sunderland players.
He reminds us a bit of Adama Traore at Borough, you know, just that sort of player who...
Yeah, maybe not as good, but I get what you mean.
Yeah, just like whenever you just think they're going to do something every time they get the ball.
I was just saying, I was going to try and think, like, when did we last have a player like that sort of direct? But I guess you could say, like, Watmore when he's first.
He's a bit more technically adept than Watmore, but he does replace that unique set of attributes in our squad. 100%.
Would have been lovely to see Watmore and Asoro together on the wings, and then have somebody, you know, maybe like Fletcher in the middle, who's got a bit more about them, you know, in terms of strength. That would have been really nice to see. I think would have caused teams so many problems on the break.
And so Asoro won the free kick for the second goal as well. You know, another example. I mean, I think he makes a bit of a meal of it, but he does get fouled, and you know, he gets taken down, and it's a training ground move, really.
Yeah. It was weird that one, because it looked like Cattermole was panicking. He was screaming at them. He was like, sort it out. It was as if they didn't have anything planned. And then suddenly just McGeady was there.
Well worked. Like I say, the thing is, at Sunderland, we aren't used to that at all. How often do you watch a goal and think that's straight off the training ground? Probably only one other example I can think of in probably the last 3 years was the goal against Hull, where you thought, that's well worked. That's like something they've worked on in the training ground.
I remember, I know it's going way back now, but Fletcher against West Ham.
I was about to say, was that the same game when Lenz chipped the keeper?
Yeah, that was like a brilliant corner routine where the defenders moved out the way for Fletcher to sweep it in. But apart from that, we've been so bad at set pieces all season. I mean, it wasn't a corner, but we've only scored one corner all year. I don't know how many free kicks we've scored from.
I don't think we've scored any direct free kicks.
I don't know if Sunderland have ever been good at corners in my life. Like, it's just not...
Under Roy Keane, we're pretty decent.
Right.
Allardyce for a period, we scored a few, like, didn't we?
When Corney was causing havoc,
The Man United game, when De Gea scored the own goal, but it was from a Corney header. Kasri first came in, like, put a couple of balls in.
I know it's crazy that Kasri had like amazing corners for like 3 games, and then they just seemed to die for no reason.
No, and then remember we're going off a tangent, but last season, even when he come back to the team, he scored straight from a corner.
Who was that, against West Ham?
Might have been, actually.
Towards the end of the year, he put him in as we were pretty much relegated.
Straight into the back of the net, wasn't it?
Yeah, we played really well. Anyway, that's gone on to a tangent. I would like to talk a little bit about tactics, because last week I was talking about going to 4 at the back. I wanted to get McGeady in the team. That was actually what I said, and it's true. You can go back. I'm not just saying it.
So you're saying that Chris Coleman needs to employ you?
I think that's
an assistant.
Essentially what I'm saying. I'm also saying that you should listen to me more, is what I'm really saying. But is that the way forward for us now? I mean, Coleman said after the game, we may have to tweak personnel or formation. I don't care what it is. I don't mind leaving a player out. I don't care who he is. If I think we're going to get a result and spark reaction, that's maybe something we need to analyse between now and the next game to get a response like that. So Coleman's obviously thinking about changing to 4 at the back. You know, what do you think, Jack? Would you go? Do you like the 3 at the back, or do you want to switch it to a 4? Well,
I was thinking this the other day because like, obviously the players were far more comfortable 4-4-2. There was like a relief to be playing like such a more familiar. It seemed like it was there. It seemed like we'd been playing that all season, and he'd reverted to it rather than let's go to it. But I think if we could do 5 at the back well. I'd prefer that to 4-4-2, but I don't think we can. So I think it might just be one of those cases where it's better to go back to basics for a bit. Maybe just, it's more of a direct league, obviously. Maybe don't try and be as fancy. Like, maybe we're not, we're obviously not a good team at the minute. So I'd be in favour of sticking with the 4-4-2, but I don't know if he sees it more as a player problem or a motivation problem.
I think the problem is that his best creative players are being kept out of the team because of the system. Like, you're talking about Aidan McGeady. I mean, granted, towards the end of Grayson's tenure and then the start of Coleman's stint in charge, McGeady was awful. But I think with Grabban leaving, we haven't replaced those goals at all. You've got a lad sitting on the bench who's your top scorer. You have to find a way of playing him. It's probably, the Soro is keeping his place in the side through merit at the minute. But you've also got Loire there, who, when he's fit, is that type of player who can create chances. I mean, the Fletcher chance, the one which the keeper saved, the good chance, that came from Loire just shooting from about 30 yards, and it swerved all over the place. The keeper misjudged it, drops to a player. Like, we don't have enough players who do that. McGeady's another player who, if he's got a yard, he'll try a shot from distance. And when you're not blessed with good strikers, you need to find a way of getting these players into the team. So, having seen what I've seen at the weekend, I think would be ignorant not to play against Brentford with McGeady and the team with 4 at the back, because it's quite clear that as soon as he did that, the players enjoyed the football more. There was an immediate lift in sort of morale, and the pressure came off them straight away. And we haven't got enough good wing backs really for that to work. Your full backs have to be shit hot. Ours aren't. In a 4, a lot better. So he's got to, hasn't he? Really, there's no ifs or buts now. I think even if he does it and it doesn't work, I say fair enough. But 5 at the back's not worked for probably 2 months now.
Yeah,
I think he's been shoehorning players in as well. Like, I look at Jones playing centre back last week, and then Matthews playing right wing back. I know he's a right back, but he's not a right wing back. He's not gonna.
He's a good right back, but he's not
going to be effective really.
No.
In the final third. You might get lucky, like he's a goal against Millwall, but you're not going to get much more than that. And I just think shoehorning players into your ideology just isn't how you manage a football club. You should be looking at the team and going, right, okay, well, we need McGeady playing. We need a Soro playing probably, and we need our defence, because they can't defend, playing in the positions they like.
Just in a stable, more traditional
John
back
O'Shea,
four,
how often's he played in a 3 at the back? He's 37. Utilise what he's good at. He knows how to play in a 2 at the back. I know people saying that he won't cope with it, but I think he will.
Thing is, you watch that goal back, the third one, where Deadu just taps it in. That's there's obviously a lot that goes into the build of the goal, but you watch the pass goes across the 3. O'Shea's just not quick enough to get to it.
He falls to his knees afterwards. You can see him. He's just like, I'm past it. Yeah.
Well, he possibly feels that, but you've got to play to strengths. At the end of the day, we talk about set pieces. Brown and Clark Salter and John O'Shea very rarely in their careers will have played in a 3. They will have grown up playing in a 2, and that's possibly why you see a player getting free, because they don't know who to pick up. Because you'll always think, well, there's 2 other centre backs. I mean, that's kind of like human nature. You would go, well, okay, well, it doesn't matter if I don't pick it up because somebody else.
It's a difficult system to play, and you need very intelligent footballers to play it properly.
How many average teams get away with playing 3 at the back? Like, how many? You look at the bottom end of the Premier League and the bottom end of the Championship. You've got to be a good team to play it.
For me, it's like a contingency, if anything. Like, we went away to Wolves and played 5 at the back.
But that was a flat 5.
Which is a bit different. So, I mean, it's a contingency plan, if anything. When you're playing a good side and you need to be compact, then fair enough. But, I mean, we're desperate for wins, and it's not working. Yeah,
I think we need to start utilising... we had a good thing on the left and right-hand side playing the 4-4-2 when we had Watmore and McGeady, and we've just kind of lost that a little bit. We've kind of lost that wing threat, and that's where a lot of our goals were coming from at the start of the season. Mm-hmm. I think that's the thing that makes me think you should change it. So do you think, we've had this before, we've been here I don't know how many times, 20 times this season, where we've said this is where the pennies dropped, 3-0 down, 3-3. This is the start of the revolution. This is where we're going to pick up. And is this another false dawn?
It's a hard one, isn't it? I mean, we tend to think, you don't see comebacks like that every day. Do you say it was the first one since
91?
91.
It's alright, 3-goal comeback.
It was 91 or 92. I saw one of the Roker Rapport lads tweet it.
But, I mean, you never know with Sunderland. It's like sometimes you expect... Like now, I'm expecting we to do well against Brentford, especially if he plays 4-4-2. But if we don't and we lose again, I think that'll just be an even bigger blow. Like, I don't know I honestly don't know. I hope that they play 4-4-2, and I hope that would at least, even if we get a point, I hope we give a good showing. But I don't know if we will. Honestly, I'm not too optimistic.
Would you go 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1? I'm curious to see what you're thinking. Brian.
Oh well,
it's
certainly 4 at the back as well. But yeah.
I just don't know, because I don't know what the answer is to that, because we don't really have anybody to play in the hole unless he plays
just
Johnny Williams.
that calling it a strict. Oh, at the end of the day, it's quite a fluid system. Like, you wouldn't actually play a flat 4 in the back, flat 4 midfield. Like, you would. Soro's best position is playing really high up on the wing, getting balls out to him so he can take the fullback on. But he's not playing as a winger. You know what I mean? As long as you've got defensively, everyone's doing their job, covering for the fullbacks, it'll work.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's about assessing positions and saying like you say, it's a round peg in a round hole. Well,
to put you on the spot, what is your what would you play on Saturday, presuming the players are fit that we expect to be fit?
If Coney is fit, I would start him with Clark-Salter at the back.
So you would drop Brown in and O'Shea?
I would. I just think that they were so poor at the weekend that you've got to make a stand effectively. I don't care that O'Shea is a captain, a leader. I think that you've just got to look at what you've got. If Lamine Coney is fit and he's motivated, which apparently he is, we're told he is. Told he's been not pick up bother.
Oh, he's been tweeting and Instagram and everything.
God, Team Coney's back in action, isn't it? But I mean, I think that Clark-Salter was the only one of the 3 at the weekend who actually looked quite responsible and tried his hardest. Left-footed centre half, more used to playing in a 4. Playing with Coney. Coney is the most athletic player we've got. He's a threat in both boxes, which is a worry. We've conceded from another set piece. I mean, I'm not saying Coney's perfect. He's been awful since Sam Allardyce left generally, but I just think if we're playing a 4, him and Clark-Salter would probably be my pick through the middle. Interesting that Oviedo got brought off when we were chasing the game, considering attacking wise he's
been our best player last month.
Yeah.
I would say.
So interestingly, you just wonder whether he would play him, maybe because Clark-Salter went left back. So but I would play Oviedo. I would play. You can't really drop Jones after his impact, I guess. As poor as he was against
I prefer Matthews personally.
I do prefer him, but I think I would probably
Matthews.
For some reason, I see him as like a safe pair of hands. I don't know why, because we leak goals all the time, but I just see him as like a safe. I think, Adam Matthews good.
Yeah, I think he's an alright right back. I don't mind him. He's average.
It's fitness, isn't it? I don't know whether he's fit or not.
Yeah.
Catamol, Williams, Ajaria in the middle. As much as I like Honeyman, I think we've just got to play centre mids and centre mids. He's not a centre midfield player.
He needs to nail the position, Honeyman. I know he gets a lot of criticism, but in all seriousness, he does need to figure out what he is. Because is he a right midfielder? Is he a cam?
I think he just does. I think he just does what he's told, and that's.
He's versatile, admittedly.
He's good. He's got good character. He'll do a job wherever he's put. Now I would play probably a wide. I would have a Soro's got to keep his place. I mean, like we said before, he was influential on 2 of the goals. McGeady coming in on the left just because I think the last 3-4 games when he's being brought on, we've looked 10 times better from an attacking perspective.
The beauty of playing them 2 as well is they can play on either side. So you can. I find it sometimes when I'm watching, I don't like it when teams swap that way.
The worry is that Soro's a young lad, not particularly defensively great. McGeady isn't playing because he's not defensively great, but I just think it's time to take risks. We need a win. We're at home. The crowd will really get behind us if we get the ball down and play.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to get on to Brentford later, but I'm just saying that would be my team anyways.
So and then Fletcher front.
Yeah, and of course, Fletcher.
Would you disagree, Jack? Or
no, I think that sounds perfectly like I'd largely agree with that. I just think that this is just a prediction. I don't know if it'll be very accurate or not, but I just think that maybe I've got a feeling Luau will be the key. Like off the bench, I wouldn't start him, but off the bench, maybe as the game drags on, maybe he'll be running at people.
That's a good point, to be fair, because you look at impact players on the bench. We could have Honeyman, who actually I think does well off the bench, because he does well against tired legs. And Luau is quite similar. He's the sort of player where you would be thinking you bring him on, like, he's got pace.
Well, we're getting players back now, aren't we? Like
McNair.
Yesterday at the weekend, obviously McNair, Williams both played for the 23s.
Rodwell, England centre half.
Are we getting on to him later or now?
No, it's meant to be after the break now. We'll leave him for later.
But no, I think we've got a lot of options there now, and just try and take the positives from the game. Negatives are obviously the defending, but that can be remedied. They've just got to drill into them through the week, get back to basics. If we are indeed going back to 4 at the back, I do think that it'll lift the pressure, because I think they look very uncomfortable as a 3. And we're conceding too many goals. The simple solution would just be to go, well, that's not working, lads. Let's do what you're good at. if we do that and put a more attacking team out, there's no reason why we can't beat Brentford as well as they're doing this season, 10th in the league. No reason why we can't beat them.
We got a draw down there as well in the air.
That was a frustrating game.
We should have won.
Again. Yeah.
I think it was a 3-3 in the end.
Yeah.
3-3. Not a great day, especially when we were 2-0 up. I think at half time.
Yeah.
It's not ideal.
It was really that for.
All right. Well, we're just going to take a quick break to plug some adverts and pay for everything, and not that we get paid like. So yeah, we'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, welcome back. We're going to talk straight away. Going to go into Jack Rodwell and see Gav's steaming, as he always is whenever he's brought up. So he played twice last week for the under-23s. You've actually wrote an article about it on the site.
Yeah.
Do you want to just go on? He was in the Metro Centre on Saturday. I don't know why
that caused a bit of a stir on social media, didn't it?
Didn't James Hunter say he was travelling down to Bristol?
Somebody did, yeah.
Oh,
but he played against West Ham in midweek, just out of the blue. Played a full 90 for the under-23. He's playing centre half as well, where he's going to eventually play for England.
Obviously.
And then Saturday, I don't actually know, because you can't confirm or deny, but there was photos of him like on the arcades in the Metro Centre while Sunderland were playing. And then on top of this, just to go on, I listened to another podcast on Thursday. Martin Scott was on it, and he spoke about being at a game in corporate. I think it was earlier in the season or last season, and Rodwell driving off after 40 odd minutes with his family, just leaving the stadium during a game and stuff. It's not been a good week for Rodwell from that sense, like a little bit of bad PR on social media. But then he played again yesterday for the 23s against Exeter, which in itself was just an absolute embarrassment. We had like 6 first teamers playing, got beat 2-0 off Exeter's reserves. I mean, where's the professionalism, you know what I mean? But Rodwell, yeah, just another good week in his house.
The thing is, I'm not to defend him too much because I don't want to. However, what I will say is if he played on Sunday, played midweek, Saturday was probably his day off. So,
aye.
What do you expect him to do? Like sit in the house?
Well, no. I asked about why he's just re-emerged, and I was told that Coleman's kind of seen it as a bit of a punishment for Rodwell having to play for the under-23s.
Oh, so it's not because he knocked on the door?
I kind of hoped that he'd made up with him.
That's what I thought. That's what I just presumed.
Yeah, but no, apparently not. Apparently it's just a thing. Like, you're going to travel down to West Ham midweek and play for the 23s.
Oh, he boils my piss, does Jack Rodwell. I just wish that he would. Like, all I ask from him now is just to be like, you know what, lads? I'm sorry. I'm going to try my best to just. I've got 18 months left. I'm going to try and get in the team. I
suppose we only know the public side of it. Like, we've seen the Rodwell interview that he did.
Yeah, but that was
with
his
the Mail.
interview was just
yeah, and then obviously we've heard the rebuttals from Coleman, obviously. But I think behind the scenes there's probably a lot more to it. He's probably still got friends in the club, but I imagine he's got a lot of detractors in the club. Like looking at him thinking, him on 70 grand a week and I'm playing every week. Like players out the youth team will be on nowhere near that, who are actually featuring in the first team now.
I think a solution could be a steel cage match between Lee Cattermole and Jack Rodwell. And we'll just see what happens. Who gets injured first? I don't know who would win it. I presume
someone asked on Twitter. I done like a little Twitter Q&A, and someone asked who would win in a fight between Cattermole and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's 50s. Although he's
scary though.
Yeah, he's Austin though.
He's hunting and that all the time. I don't know if you listen to his podcast, but he's always out hunting. So
I actually unsubscribed to his podcast because it got boring.
Yeah, I think he's becoming as famous for hunting as he is for being a bona fide best wrestler ever, or one of the best. Probably get on with that later.
I unsubscribed from his podcast because I got sick of hearing about deer hunting.
I just listened. He did one with Chris Jericho last week. That was what I was listening to. I only listen to the ones where he's with regular wrestlers. I'm really not bothered about hunting. So we're all done with Jack Rodwell. Is there anything else to add? Anyone else just want to call him a knob on air?
I just don't want. When you said there he's got 18 months left on his contract, I thought, oh really? Like, is that how long?
I think it's like 5 million. I think he had left.
I worked it out. It was the podcast we did after the interview that he did. I'd worked out how much he would get paid if he saw out his contract.
It was like
5.4 million, something like that.
Obviously, he will have been paid about $1 million since then. So
yeah, the thing is though, like what brings it all down to me is like you look at the January transfer window and even the summer transfer window, the amount of money was spent, right? Pennies, relatively. speaking anyways. And then Rodwell's earning 280 grand a month at least. If there's 5 weeks in a month, I don't know how the pay works out, but I presume they get paid weekly.
That's
I mean,
4 weeks he earns.
When we haven't got a pot to piss in, he's earning an absolute fortune. I mean, there was that there was the article, we've got a bit about it on the site today. Tom wrote it, the article that Scott Wilson of the Northern Echo wrote about being careful what you wish for, kind of, with Short, because if he pulled out, he's putting £3 million in every month, apparently.
It was that not in the Premier League? Is that still now?
Yeah, it's based on the old accounts.
I was going to say, I cannot imagine that doing. What are they paying for now?
Irrespectively, we're obviously losing a lot of money on players like that, so someone's put the money in. Rodwell's getting paid off somebody. And
they do say that Short's writing the checks. He might not be involved, but he is still writing the checks.
I will say, like, you never know what's going to happen in football. Like, 1 minute, Phil Bardsley's in the casino with notes in his mouth on the floor, and then the next minute scoring against Man United. Maybe Jack Rodwell's the hero that we need this season.
Scores a goal to keep us up.
Him and goal machine Paddy McNair running the midfield. I think that's how it's going.
I actually like Paddy McNair.
I like Paddy McNair.
Yeah. I don't want you to.
I'd like him if he wasn't
Paddy McNair with the Jack Rodwell brush.
I'd like him if he wasn't made of backy papers and spit.
That's why he plays for Sunderland.
True.
It's what happens with all these players. Like, you always look at them and say, "Oh, I wish McGeady was just a bit more consistent." Aye, that's why he plays for Sunderland, because
you do have to kind of get some perspective when you're talking about players like that. Like, we are bottom of the division.
It's like
or second bottom.
Ashley Fletcher last weekend. Like, he was all right for half an hour, but after that, he didn't seem that good. And I was like, that's why Middlesbrough, who's also in this league, loaned him to her, because he kind of get in their team, expecting a world beater.
What it's about is just trying to make the best of what you've got in it.
Making the best of a bad situation. I mean, you look at that team, for whatever reason they've ended up at Sunderland. It's not because they're brilliant they've ended up at Sunderland. Like, most of them are trying to A, prove a point because they've had a nightmare few years, B, are on loan in at the start of their football career, or C, are youth players who are here because they've...
It's not a healthy combination, is it?
No, there's nobody in that team who's like a star, if you know what
talisman,
I mean.
I think I said that last week. Yeah. We don't have a talisman in this squad at all.
It seems to have happened really suddenly as well. In like 2 seasons, the whole team's just different now. And I think, where's everyone gone? Where's Breeny? Where's Lawson? Where's all the good-looking lads? What's happening? No, but I just think, even though we were flirting with relegation season on season on season, it at least felt like the team had key figures and people that would put in a performance and stuff. And now it's just like, I don't know who all these players. I'm not familiar enough with all these players. It doesn't feel like the same club almost. It's strange.
Yeah, like going from Jordan Pickford to Jason Steele
to Lee Camp.
Yeah.
Has he made a save yet? Has he actually saved a shot?
I felt a bit sorry for him at the weekend. Like,
I was going to say, I don't know if any of the goals were.
Nah, the winners.
One of them was last week. Where he dived 3 minutes after the ball went past him last week was his fault.
You got to look at his record at this level. I know we don't have a great deal of experience. Presume that's why he's there. Good helped keep Rotherham up a few seasons ago.
I don't want to hammer into him because he's a new signing, but I'm not a fan. I'm not. I don't think. I don't know if he's any better or worse than Robin Roker, although he's out now.
Yeah, 3 months out since last time we recorded.
So that's pretty much.
Have you seen the photo of his finger? It's awful.
Nah,
I don't
know. Honestly,
it's like purple and it's got like weights on it and stuff to try and keep it straight, and it's pretty grim. Like, badly dislocated. Like, I've dislocated my finger before, and just popped it back into place. Like, that is bad. It's like
I always remember
when your hand goes purple because it's so badly dislocated.
Chris Kirkland did it when he was at Wigan. He was like crying at the side of the
I remember that.
Dislocating his finger. Sounds horrible. Not for me. We've got a Twitter question from Cameron Johnson. I've touched on it a bit, but I'll still ask it. Do you believe that this result can be the turning point and there's actually some fighting chance of remaining in this league, or is it just going to be typical Sunderland and fail at building that result? So I'm going to take the chances of remaining in the league. What do you think? Like, if you had to give it out of 100%, where you're staying, what chance have we got to stay up?
I'm definitely a lot more positive than I was at half time in that game, because it just looked like the writing was on the wall at half time, didn't it? But to show the kind of fight we did, it says one or two things really. It shows that they do have a lot more in them than they've shown recently, and it kind of proves that there's life in the old dog yet, really. So
go on, I need a number. I'm here for a number, not words, Gav.
Number or
out of 100%, what chance of survival?
Oh God, I'm still pretty confident. Like, I'm around 75%. The reason being the teams down there are crap, like just as bad as we are.
Jack, what do you think?
I agree, but I'm second guessing myself because League One, like the third tier, is the unknown, so it just doesn't seem fathomable at the minute. It's just like, well, we'll never. Sunderland are always in one of the top 2 divisions, and now it's like
been in that Division 1 season in my history.
Once ever.
I think we were top the whole time, weren't we? I don't think we ever went off top position that year. Or never out the top 2.
Not sure, but we've done it properly.
If you look at the league table after the weekend's results, Barnsley got a draw, so they're sitting one place above us on 28 points. Burton are below on 25 points, but I think I've seen it all, yeah, like, but I can't see Burton getting out of it.
I'm just scared Darren Bent's going to score the goals to keep them up, like, at our expense. How that would be the cherry on top of the cake.
Full circle, wouldn't it? It all started with him going, and it all ended with him coming back from the game. Hull, they picked up a big win at the weekend, which was annoying because they've been struggling.
Still don't think that, after what I saw them a few weeks ago, don't think they'll have enough.
Look at their team though, and their team's got some players that, like, if they get Hernandez back, I think that's the key for them. I don't know how long he's injured, but I know he's got a big injury. I don't know if he's going to be back this season. But
you've got to think as well, after a big injury, how many players hit the ground running? They don't really that often. You can't hang your hopes on one player. Birmingham
are in 20th on 30 points. They've seemed to have hot up, but they lost that Derby game. That could be a nail in the coffin, that though, you know. Cause
I said last week that haven't seen Birmingham twice this season. I don't think it'll go down.
No, I agree. I think
I think they'll shithouse their way to a few 1-0s and stay up because they've just got some big bastards up front. Like,
I wonder if the Derby win will have that much of an effect. The Derby loss, will have that much of an effect on them as well, because they probably weren't expecting to win.
Villa are second in the league, aren't they? So they were expecting a tough game, I would imagine.
I don't know. It's still I think Derby games can often have an adverse effect.
Remember when we got beat 5-1 off Newcastle and then went and beat Chelsea a couple of games later?
And I remember when under Poyet we went there and hammered them 3-0 and then didn't win a game for 3 months. So it can go either way. All I'm saying is sometimes with the Derby games it gives you that sort of, I don't know, a loss of confidence that they've went there.
You'd like the confidence have built up from the last few because their results have been quite good. Yeah. And then obviously you're losing your main rivals.
The fans on side too recently, because I know they've had a big issue with the fans at their ground. And
when Spencer Vignes was in, he mentioned that, didn't he? Yeah. He said that he'd reported on a few games from St Andrews this season and said, I mean, you get in with an early goal and it's poisonous in there. Lo and behold, Sunderland conceded their goal pretty early and did not take advantage of their opponent's weaknesses for the 80th time this season.
The other team's kind of getting more and more drawn in at the minute is, well, Bolton have been there or thereabouts all season and they just seem to be picking up results all the time. But Reading and Sheffield Wednesday are
an interesting one. There's a few Reading fans tweeted us over the weekend asking, who do you think, like the Q&A I did, Reading fan asked who I think will go down. I didn't say Reading. He was like, God, that's a relief. I thought you were going to say Reading. I didn't realise they were doing so bad.
They've really slid.
But I said a few weeks ago about this, that if results get to the point where the manager needs to be sacked, that'll be enough to keep them up, because their squad's quite good. And it's mad how things turn, really.
You look at Wednesday's squad though, they've got a good team. Like, they were so close to promotion last season, the season before, and yet it looks like they're going to do that thing they always do, where they could fall out. Like this season,
they threw a lot of money at trying to get promoted and didn't.
Yeah.
So they haven't spent money this season. Manager Carvajal, who's now like just rescued Swansea, couldn't buy a win at Chef Wed, got sacked. They've replaced him with a complete unknown who just hasn't inspired the fans at all, or the players by the looks of it.
Even look at, I didn't even realise how close Forest and QPR were. I mean, they're 10 points from us, which is a lot, but that's not like
we are making that gap up. Like,
we might not, but another team might.
Yeah, we've got to maybe look at the.
I think Reading's the final one we're targeting at 32 points.
I don't think, like, room in my head here, I think Burton will go down. I think Hull will go down. Just based off what I saw them against us, that didn't look like a team up for a fight. That was a massive opportunity to get 3 points off a relegation rival, and they just turned over. And that would tickle their bellies, really.
Yeah. They've got an extra point though because of their goal difference. I know they don't, but you're going to have to get above them to get above them. Like, you're going to have to actually get an extra point to get above them, because that -5 goal difference is, well, it's going to be very important. They essentially are, 4 points ahead of us, really.
Yeah, and then Barnsley losing arguably their best manager in a long time to a local rival.
Got a good result. Well, it's pretty Sheffield Wednesday. I don't know if that is a good result. Draw.
But I just think when you lose, like, Heckingbottom's been the talisman at that club, working on a shoestring, bringing through some great players. He's gone now. Like, what do they do? Can go one or two ways, obviously, but
I was expecting Grayson to end up there. But he's at Derby. Bradford.
Bradford, yeah.
Good appointment for them.
I reckon it'll be Burton, Barnsley, and my head says Hull, but I think it'll be Birmingham, because Hull always get out of it, don't they? They always manage somehow. Well, no, they don't. Against us, I mean, in games against us, they always manage to weasel their way through. I think they'll do it again.
I've got a feeling somebody will plummet. Reading being the most obvious one. I just think when it comes to the nitty gritty, it separates the winners from the losers, doesn't it? Like, that's what I've said for a couple of weeks now. I think when the heat's really on Sunderland, that's when we'll come into our own, because Coleman's that type of manager who can create like a gang mentality. I think at the minute there's still not as much pressure on us because there's still quite a lot of football left to play. But I think if it and I suspect it will, if it's still tight in 10 games time, I think we've got an advantage over teams like Burton, like Hull.
Yeah. Wait, where are Barnsley at the minute?
22nd.
20. Oh, right.
2 points above. The thing is, we're in that final third of the season now. We've got 15 games left, so we are officially into that final period of the season. We've won the least amount of games, which is that's a fact. We've won 5 games, and Burton's even won 6, and we've conceded the second most amount of goals. So to sit here and say that we sort of expect us to get out of it just seems a bit, I don't know.
I know what you're saying. I think it's hope, innit?
I think we've got about, if I'm being brutally honest, I think we've got about a 70% chance of going down. I honestly think like to stay up, it's going to be more surprising if we stay up at this point.
What we're relying on now is 2 things. I think we're relying on a complete system change which galvanises us to the point where we start picking results up, and we're relying on some of the injured players coming back making an impact. Players like Williams, he's really been eased back into it. He's been back training for what feels like a month now, played quite a few games for the under-23s. I think we spoke about this a few weeks ago, but you've got to kind of look at his relationship with the manager and the success he had under him at Wales and just think, could he be a catalyst, really? Could he be an impact player towards the end of the season that can help pick us up? I would like to see him play at the weekend. I think there's a spot open in the centre of midfield for Sunderland at the minute, and
I like that Ajaria. I think was that his name?
Yeah,
butchering it maybe. I quite like the look of him against the team that beat with the other week, Ipswich. That's the one.
Yeah, he did all right.
I quite liked him. I think it would be nice to see him continue. I see what you're saying about Williams.
I think he's come with Ajaria and with Clark Salter. They've come from big clubs, but they've came here on the proviso they'll be playing quite a lot of football.
Yeah,
I would imagine that's generally the case when you loan top prospects from big clubs. So I would fully expect him to play in there with. If we're going to play 4 at the back, Williams, Catamole, Ajaria seems pretty sensible, doesn't it?
Yeah. Right. Quick Twitter question. We have touched on it, but straight yes or no from Lou SAFC. Would you have a 4-4-2 starting the next game with McGeady and Lualua on the wings, Fletch and Azora up top? Would you be happy with that?
Yeah, I gave my team earlier, but I think that would
be alright.
I was going to say that's what I was thinking when I said yes.
You were going 4-4-2 initially,
but you've convinced us. I think that the 5-man midfield's probably better.
Yeah.
Azora, though, if you play 4-4-2, could kind of not necessarily be the up front.
But the thing is, when you've got a striker like Fletcher who's 6'3", 6'4", something like that, you need to surround them with bodies. So Asoro and McGeady are never going to play a conventional role, like on the wing, hugging the line, trying to get down, beat that man. Asoro play very high up the pitch, probably like right on the touchline, basically, but very, very high. Looking, but you saw McGeady's ball to him for I think it was it the third one? Yeah. Just get him out wide and get the ball to his feet and let him take people on. McGeady's a little bit different. McGeady's best position is playing off somebody. So the problem is with the system that we're talking about is that if it sounds great from an attacking perspective, like, he's going to take this man on and beat him down the line, blah blah blah. McGee's going to get run straight. Great, attacking perspective, fantastic. But when it comes down to defending, who can you count on? Who's going to cover for the full-backs? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose you've got to...
It's a tough balance, but I made the point earlier, I just think you've got to take a gamble. It's about time we did.
When Katz was good, he used to do a good job of that, covering for wingers who weren't tracking back. Wouldn't
mind touching on this briefly, actually. Catamole deserves a bit of credit for the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a bit of a detractor, but I think that when you watch the first goal is obviously from his header, but he made the commitment again on the end of a cross, which he doesn't often do. Second goal comes from his free kick, quick thinking. Obviously, him and McGeady have worked on something there and it's paid off. Third goal, I made this point earlier on. It's actually it comes from a good bit of team play actually. But if you watch, we'll win possession back in the centre of the park. Catamole gets the ball, spreads it wide, and he screams at McGeady to get forward, and we score from McGeady's pass to Sorrow. So I just think you've got to give him a bit of credit actually.
This is what I think
it'd be nice if he could do it more often, but
I think that's what we've been asking for.
Yeah.
Like for a while off Catamole, we've been saying like, Cowie, you know you can do it.
Grab games by the scruff of the neck.
Do it. Do the Kevin Ball.
Although, maybe I was really shocked because we're used to him grabbing games by the scruff of the neck, but in a more defensive sense, like the 0-0 with against Arsenal and Advocat.
Yeah.
Or I'm sure it was a few years ago I went to a game.
Chelsea.
Yes, Chelsea, when he was just unbelievable.
He just blocking everything.
Yeah.
We drew 0-0 in that play, I remember.
But now that we need to, win games and pick up points rather than just survive and cling on, I mean, maybe he is. I was really shocked that he got forward as much as he did. Maybe it's because of.
I think it was just desperation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like somebody needs to do it. Looking around, who else is going to do it? It's not going to be a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
It needs to be somebody like him who's got a lot of experience, good leadership qualities.
He needs to be more of a mentor. And
I just think that the problem is with players when they're into their 30s and have been through a lot. Like Catamol's played since he was 16-year-old professionally. He was in Middlesbrough's team when he was 16. You become worn down by it all. Obviously the countless relegation battles mentally it wears you down. Then there's the expectancy again for him to pick this team up. Coleman speaks often about his impact, O'Shea's impact. I mean, I'm convinced in my own mind that our long-term future as a club on the pitch, it only improves when we get rid of players like Catamol and O'Shea in my eyes, because I just think that you need a signal change eventually. But at the minute they're there and we've got to use them. And Coleman's very reliant on what they bring. So if Catamol can do what he did against Hull and what he did in the last game more often, then he's an asset to us. But if he plays like he did at Birmingham or he plays like he did against Ipswich, he's no use. And it's about him himself kind of looking at his own performance in that game at the weekend and going, why can't I do that more often? What is it that's stopping us from just grabbing games when they're in the lurch like that was, even when it's 0-0? What's stopping him from doing that more often? It's got to be a mental block, surely. But thankfully it paid off at the weekend, and I think he does deserve a bit of credit.
No, I agree. One last thing on the game that I just wanted to briefly bring up was, did anybody see Lee Johnson's interview where he took blame? He said that
I read about it, but I didn't see it.
He basically said that at half time he was saying to the boys, let's try and beat these 6 or 7 rather than see it out and try and win 3 or 4. Do you think that had an impact? Do you think Bristol City should have at half time just went, right, okay, we're going to win 3-0?
Maybe
sharp.
Maybe they have been a bit cocky because they had obviously they had a good showing or a good couple of showings against like Man City and stuff like that. Maybe they
good cup run, yeah.
Yeah, maybe they did just get a bit, think, oh yeah, we're probably going to hammer these. I'd never thought of that. I didn't hear that interview.
To be honest, I think their form's been really, really poor.
Yeah.
Since that cup run, and they probably just thought, God, we haven't felt like this in a while.
I think that could be the,
because they were doing really well before
they were,
and then they beat Manchester United and went and had a poor run. So mentally, you've got to think that they probably panicked a little bit and thought, "Ooh, right, we're 3-0 up. Right, let's make the most of this." Took their foot off the gas totally. I mean, we got a bit of luck. Obviously, the two own goals, very lucky. We're just one of those things. But from a professional standpoint, if you're 3-0 up in a game, you've got to say that out.
Yeah. No, you definitely.
Particularly if you're going for a promotion like they are. They're in the 6th in the league, I think.
That game's gonna.
It's going to damage them.
They're not going to go up now. I had them down as going up this year, but I think you can't play the second worst team in the league and throw away 3-0.
You know what you're saying about their manager coming out and taking the blame? He's just taking the pressure off the players.
Yeah.
Because he knows for a fact what the fans are going to be talking about straight after the game. And that's it, really, isn't it?
Right, we'll move on to Brentford. The 10th. They're pretty inconsistent, really. They're, 8 points outside the playoffs? So they'll be looking at this with an eye on the playoffs. I don't think they'll be expecting playoffs, but they're certainly going to have a keen eye on it. What do we think? I mean, this is the sort of game that
interesting team, Brentford. Really interesting. I listened to Totally Football League podcast last week. They had Billy the Bee on, the lad who's going to be doing our show on Thursday night.
Good
so
lad.
people will have to listen out for that. But he was on the Totally Football show and they were talking a lot about the way Brentford do stuff. Really interesting. It got me thinking a little bit about Sunderland, but I mean, obviously their catchment area is London, so it's a lot easier. But they basically axed their academy completely. Like, don't enter leagues or anything. Created a B team. Ironically, their nicknames are Bees. Created a B team. Who only play friendlies. The players all travel with the first team squad to matches, so they're in that environment. And the focus, rather than recruiting their own players, like from being 8-9 year old, what they do is they look at like top academies and think like players who get released and try and pick those up.
Like the ones like Madja that we picked up.
Yeah. But obviously their catchment's a lot better, so they're in London. So a really interesting club. Like, have tried to do something totally different. And obviously on the pitch, they've got a lot of players who, from that way of thinking, have come through. Like Ryan Woods was linked with us a couple of times, I think. He's like the main player, centre midfield player. They've got the guy back from Norwich, I forget his name, Spanish lad, Sergio Caños.
Aye.
Yeah, good player, really good player. So they're 10th for a reason. I mean, they're sitting just outside the playoffs, but you've got to think resource-wise and things, have not spent a lot of money, lost their best player in the summer and still have done quite well, you know. So
build a new ground, I think, as well. I think they're like a club on the up. I'm sure
they're in London, of course they are.
Yeah, I'm sure they're leaving their ground and building a new one.
If you're anywhere near London, you're sorted. Like as soon as you get promoted,
it'll be big for them.
We've just got to ward against the mistakes that cost us against Amelia in the season, like you said before. 2-0 up against them, managed to throw the game away. I don't think you'll see a similar kind of game at the weekend. I think we will go back to basics, calm it down a little bit. But they're going to be, like every team does, looking at our league position and thinking, good chance for 3 points to help our own prospects out. Then they're not going to be coming here for a draw, they're going to be coming here to win.
Predictions then? Jack, what do you think?
I'm going to go for 1-1.
On the fence.
Yeah, I just think this game should be a boost, and it should lead to in a perfect world it would lead to a win. But I think they are a top half side, and wins don't come easily to us. So I don't think we'll play badly. I think it'll be an admirable performance, but I can't see we're picking up 3 points. I'm going to get called all sorts on Twitter. And I bet whether
you'll be fine. I called Newcastle Town the other day and I didn't get an out. So no.
He was talking about, you saw there's a nice, were you on about Red Smokehouse, weren't you?
Yeah.
Like, it's in town, and Copley's like a proper Mackham though, and he's like, what do you mean by town?
A Welsh Mackham. He's Welsh. He's a man.
Proud Welshman from Hendon. But no, my prediction anyway is I think we're going to catch them off guard. I think, like I've just said there, they're coming for 3 points. They're a possession-based team. We've done very well against teams who try to play football against us this season. It's one plus side of the results we've picked up this season. We tend to do all right against teams that come and play a bit. Fulham tried to do it and we beat them 1-0.
Redmond did it though.
Yeah, but we were down to 10 men. It was 0-0 until we
won that game.
You reckon? But I just think we beat Norwich. Hull tried to come and play on the ground and didn't do well. I think we'll win. I think it'll be 1-0. I think just the impact of bringing some fresh faces into the team. Coleman definitely hinted at after the game that's what he'll be doing. Should be pretty easy to predict who he's talking about. McGeady, assumably. So 1-0 win, and I think it's going to be some positivity to build on afterwards as well, because we've got some tough games coming up.
Sweet. You've convinced me. I think we'll win 2-0. Not going to say much more than that. 2-0. I'm confident. I think McGeady will score. I think Asoro will as well. So yeah, that's me. So we're going to talk a wee bit about wrestling. We've got some wrestling Twitter questions.
Oh right. Okay.
Well, obviously you retweeting the post attracted some
wrestling fans.
Wrestling fans who are also Sunderland fans.
Should probably put it in the bio to skip to like 50 minutes. Just if you want to get the
like wrestling.
Yeah.
We're trying to relate to Sunderland though.
There do seem to be quite a few Sunderland wrestling fans. When you are doing little gifs about people seem to respond.
The guy you said you knew,
Johnny Goldsmith.
Yeah, he always tweets us. He's the lad. Do you remember there was a WWE show and there was a lad stood with a Moyes Out sign?
Well, what?
I'm sure that was him. I'm sure it was Moyes Out or something. That was him. He got caught on telly with it. He was like holding the sign.
I went to WrestleMania 30 and I had my Sunderland top on. I got on camera.
Nice.
There was one a couple of years ago that which WrestleMania was it? It might have been 2 years ago, and someone had a
32 or something.
It was. I think it was
West Ham shirt.
No, there was someone with a massive it was like a massive Carl Magny head. Carl Magny, he plays for Hartlepool now, but he was at Grimsby at the time. There's a Grimsby fan always gets on camera at WrestleMania, and he was holding up a Carl Magny head. It was giant. It was random because it was like the main event of WrestleMania, and Carl Magny's head just there.
His claim to fame.
Aye.
You should ask Danny Collins about that. He plays for Grimsby.
Yeah.
Never thought. Oh, well.
I don't know if he played for Grimsby with Magny. Like, he's been at Hartlepool a few years now.
Oh, he probably didn't. He's going to be there 18 months. Right. So, Daniel McIver.
Dunno.
It's an American TV show, isn't it? McIver. Who would Sunderland be if they were a wrestler? I'm thinking James Ellsworth or Barry Horowitz.
Oh, he's having
Barry Horowitz.
He's having a bit of banter there because they're just
jobbers.
Yeah.
Barry Horowitz was like really good wrestler who was just paid to make people look really good.
I know what a jobber is. Oh, these don't know. Fair enough. Okay.
Don't worry, man. I'm
you're
trying
explaining
to
it to me.
taking the audience into account here.
I think Steve Blackman because
Nice.
I
You're a
used to,
big stick.
when I was a kid, I loved Steve Blackman and I didn't know why. And it turns out I just thought he was cool. But like Sunderland, you don't feel like you've got a choice in like that. I just liked him. I was like, oh, he's good him. And didn't win too much, but, you know, he'll always be a favourite. That's Steve Blackman.
Did you ever find when you were watching wrestling, like, I would have like one guy I supported. So I supported Mr. Kennedy. And I was like huge on Mr. Kennedy. I loved him. And I used to hate it because he got released from Randy Orton got him released, I think the story goes.
There was a bit of he accidentally injured someone or something like that.
Yeah, and I was like absolutely raging because I was sure Mr. Kennedy was going to be like future WWE champion. He won Money in the Bank, and he was Mr. Money in the Bank, and he cut a good promo, and I loved him. And he ended
He's
up.
Mr. Anderson now.
Yeah, no, but I'm not interested.
On the Indies. All right.
Did you notice when Newcastle signed Kennedy the other week? They used Mr. Kennedy's intro music.
It's the only time I've ever retweeted Newcastle. It's 'cause of that video. I was laughing. I love Mr. Kennedy. Who's yours? Well, Steve Blackman. Who's yours, Gav? Who'd you say was your like underdog you supported? Oh well, and Sunderland. I suppose it's the same question, really, isn't it?
No, because we are a jobber team, aren't we? Like we do an away guide, obviously before every game, and the opening section every time is who are these jobbers. and Walshy writes it, and he basically just tortures the other club, and he's really good at it.
No, he is. I always
like,
have a good
I kind of think Sunderland are the jobbers, aren't they? Really,
like Gilbert or something.
We are literally we are like, do you know, like obviously what. If a wrestler they're trying to build him up, they'll give him a series of good wins and stuff, like short, snappy wins. We are literally that. We are like if a wrestler needs a bit of momentum, they'll put him in a few jobber matches and make him win easily. Like Sunderland this season, how many times have we played someone who's out of form and got beat? So
it was Zack Ryder or something.
Nah, we are. I agree with it. Ellsworth, we are James Ellsworth. Like,
you think?
Aye, bit pathetic. Lose all the time. People don't take us seriously. But he did get a title shot once. That was us cup final 2014. Didn't quite get there.
Next question.
That was a very good analogy. That was really good.
At DATM91 says, which wrestler would you like to see in the Sunderland squad, and which current SCFC player could you see inside a WWE ring?
I'll just go for Neville or Noam Dar because they're British, and Neville's from Newcastle.
Isn't he mag?
He is, but Noam was mag, and you know.
It's not done us too good. That's Chopper, ain't he?
Well, I'll go for Noam Dar because I just know that he's a Scottish lad who was into football before he got into wrestling.
We might still like them both.
And he always, yeah, maybe. No, if we're going for someone like, get like Lesnar, bit of metal in.
Someone scary.
Yeah, someone scary because we're not a scary team.
Yeah.
Lesnar played NFL, didn't he?
He tried to break into it. Yeah.
Like
that. He tried to.
Well, he left wrestling to try and do it. And then he didn't quite do it, so he went, I'm going to be a UFC fighter instead, and then became the champion of like real fighting as well, and everyone was like...
He's a scary man. I remember... I've only seen him live.
NCAA champ as well, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen Lesnar live once, and I was just like shocked at the mammoth scale of him.
I've never seen him in real life. Well, I've seen him from a distance in the ring, but I've never been near him. But yeah.
I was about maybe 50 yards from him, and I was... Especially when he was next to Paul Heyman as well. He's just a...
Paul Heyman is about 6 foot. He's taller than me.
Is he?
Yeah, but
looks like a little fat man on the telly.
He's next to Lesnar all the time.
Huh?
I met him for about 2 seconds, and he was like, I'm about probably 5'10". He was probably about 6 foot, Paul Heyman. And I was like, I can't believe this. How big's Lesnar then? I thought, it's just terrifying.
I love Paul Heyman.
Yeah, he's good.
Like Paul Heyman.
Well, you wouldn't mind Paul Heyman in the Sunderland dressing room, would you?
Yeah,
when we're playing shit.
Mm.
He could talk anyone into doing anything. I think like.
Oh, he's incredible. I've always loved him since. I can't believe that they got rid of him about 10 years ago, didn't they? When he had the ECW brand.
Yeah.
And I remember being raging about it because I used to love Paul Heyman so much. And he like brought through CM Punk and that, didn't he?
Yeah. He's a great lad.
Is he still going in the WWE?
He's still Lesnar's like...
Do you take one eye off the... I don't even watch it that closely. I know he's there.
Oh, damn.
He's still Lesnar's like mouthpiece.
He's good at it.
Yeah, he's good. Very good.
I know he's good because whenever my mum like comes in or my girlfriend comes in and I'm watching the wrestling and Paul Heyman's on, I was like, I can't stand him. He's a horrible lizardy man.
He's doing his job then, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing his job.
My girlfriend is a wrestling fan. I made a huge mistake there because I can't escape it, like work, and then I see her, she's talking about wrestling, so I'm just like, but never mind.
I was pretending to people I know that I don't watch it, so I don't have to converse about it.
Jake Collinson, who's a big fan of the show, he's always retweeting my stuff, I've always realised. He says, would the Hurricane save Sunderland?
Hurricane Sunderland?
from.
Would the
going
Hurricane
down.
save Sunderland from going down?
No, because he came back and it was the Royal Rumble recently. Hurricane was a surprise. You know, they've got surprise old lads.
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
back. He was one of them, and he got eliminated in about 3 seconds.
I used to like Gregory Helms.
That's
like
him?
the Hurricane. I know.
Yeah,
I used
right,
to
I
like
thought
that
you were-
character, the Gregory Helms. He was good.
He's just like the Hardy's mate, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a great theme song though. The Gregory Helms theme song.
But, like, no, he wouldn't save. He didn't last. He tried to chokeslam John Cena and just got choked out.
Wasn't he tag team with The Rock once?
He had a little rivalry with The Rock once.
Oh, you have a rivalry with The Rock?
Yeah,
I thought
he
you
was.
tag team
It was when The
partner.
Rock he turned bad. For anyone who doesn't know what that means, and The Rock was all Hollywood and like, oh, I'm the best. Like, I'm going to leave wrestling for Hollywood and that. Good storyline. And the Hurricane like beat him because someone distracted him. The Rock was livid. Very funny.
Adam Pearson says, "What would you do if Vince McMahon bought Sunderland?" I remember once.
They're going to buy
Vince-
Newcastle. He's going to buy
Yeah, I
Newcastle.
remember once.
That rumour's been going years.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
He's not buying
I would love
Newcastle.
it, me. Like, imagine, right?
If you
you're-
bought us, or if you bought
We're the one with the
Newcastle,
American
you bought us.
owners. Can you
But
not?
imagine, right? Just before kick-off, we're playing, I don't know, Man United in a big FA Cup game. Lights go out. Triple H's game music comes on. Lights flash all over the place. Fireworks come off.
It would literally be like that, wouldn't it?
It would have a
Total
ring announcer in the
Americanisation
middle.
of football.
There is a wrestler who is a Sunderland fan, of course. Have you heard of Tyson Kidd?
Oh yeah, is he something?
No, but he was.
No, he was. So I was at that. I was at that
You
show.
were
I was at that show.
There was a house show on in Newcastle. Neville came out, obviously in a Newcastle shirt, and everyone was like, "Wait!" Someone threw a Sunderland shirt into the ring.
No, he came out with it on.
Did he come out with it on?
Yep.
Came out with a Sunderland shirt on to get booed. Genius.
Do you know what was good about that though?
Was that
Right?
when they brought out Defoe?
No, that was a different. year.
Oh, that was brilliant.
What was good about Tyson Kidd wearing the Sunderland shirt was who was it? I think it was Neville. Kept trying to rip it off his back. He took it off him 2 or 3 times. He put it back on.
He's
like-
a massive lads fan.
Aye. Massive lads
Take
fan.
that. I'll
Tyson
follow
Kidd.
Tyson Kidd. He can be the new Mr. Kennedy.
Then the year later, Jack Swagger came out in the red and white singlet.
Is Swagger still going?
No,
He was
not
wrestling.
WWE.
He wrestled in Newcastle last week. We went to a show called 5-Star Wrestling, and he was the All-American Jake Hager. It's his real name. And he became the 5-star champion. He beat John Morrison. Remember John Morrison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Melina, Eminem, and all that.
Yeah, all them, yeah. I've met Melina. She's a lovely woman.
Did you do the splits?
She follows me on Twitter. She's probably my most impressive Twitter follower.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I followed you a day like so.
Oh, nice. All right,
Yeah.
fair enough. One of you.
Still waiting for that follow back, man.
We'll do it after the show.
She was mint her like.
uh,
I've heard some stories, but I won't go into them. We
I'll
all
do it
have.
for the X-rated podcast.
Just promiscuous lady. That's all I'm saying.
I am Taylor says, what would be your wrestling name, wrestling finisher, and
You've
gimmick?
probably been asked that a million times, you, but I've never been asked that. So
Yeah, you can think while he's answering.
I did a little run-in a couple of weeks ago at an indie show called North in Riverside in Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
you make goes to them shows, aye.
Who does he?
Yeah,
Who's that?
it's called Adam Richardson.
Oh, I might have. Aye.
Big bloke with a beard, and that doesn't wet it down
Does
when
he
it comes to
say-
wrestling fans, or does it?
Does he say one fall? Because then people irritate me.
Oh, the
No.
big one full champ.
Yeah, that always annoys me.
I don't have a finisher, but it's the only offensive move I've hit in a wrestling ring ever. There's a lad called Primate from Newcastle.
Yeah, I know him.
Jay.
You know him.
So
I
Best
I
mates.
know of him.
I had to push a cameraman out of the way. Got into the ring, like low blowed him. I got taught how to do it safely. I didn't actually catch his balls.
What are you telling us that it wasn't real?
I know.
What? Hang on, wrestling's not real.
What?
What?
So
Jack, you've just broke my heart.
that would be my finisher. Sorry, anyway, because
Just finish it to break people's hearts by saying
No,
it's not real.
Yeah.
It's about as real as EastEnders.
What were the other ones? Ring name.
He's
I
got one,
got
Jack the
ring-
Jobber.
Jack the Jobber.
I suppose gimmick, jobber.
Yeah. That was the first time I've ever been a heel in that match, and it was brilliant. It's so much easier to get booed than it is cheered. I threatened a lad in a wheelchair. I know him. I already know. It's all right. I know him. And after the match,
Just separately, just one time you threatened a guy.
No, it was what I was getting, because Liam, the lad who I was helping out, like did the whole like Devon, get the tables and all that, and we were taking the piss. And then I rolled out the ring and got a table from under the ring, and I had to pretend it was too heavy, so he had to come and help. And as I was struggling with the table, I saw Josh, a lad that I know in the crowd. I went, "If you try anything, I'll slap you in the face." And everyone booed me. And I was like, "That's easy. This really easy."
I nearly got chinned off a wrestler once.
Oh,
Yeah, Jack Chester. I was at an ICW. I was at an ICW show, right? And I think I called him a twat or something. I don't know. I just called him something really inoffensive, but it got him raging. He like, came into the crowd trying to get us and stuff.
He probably didn't. Was he not just?
No,
part of
he
his
like
character?
tried. Like, he was literally in the crowd being held back.
To be fair, you got one of them faces.
Actually, I might have called him. I was pissed, like, so I might have been a bit stronger than twat. But I did call him something pretty nasty, I think.
Well, you got an idea for a wrestling name, Gav?
The Gaffer. That'll make
The
Copley. That'll get Copley going. I called myself the Gaffer once, and he hated it. he
Why?
just takes the piss ever since.
Because he's the gaffer. You can't say no to Gav, man.
you can't be too.
Gav the gaffer.
Gav's the gaffer.
Aye. And my finisher would be like a shooting star press.
Oh yeah.
The shooting star press. I can
Just
imagine
bust it
you.
out.
Because people would pay to see me do that because it's so unbelievable.
I know that could be like a good Roker Report thing one day. Is if we did like a WWE game thing and we made your character fight each other. That could be good.
I'd win.
One day.
Champion.
I would win. I'm good at them games.
You look. Nah.
I'm
Who would
good
you?
at games.
I'm trying to think who you would be.
Oh, I'd probably be an embarrassing one.
Like,
I'd
who
be
would if he could be anyone in wrestling? Who would he be? Chris Toll
I don't know. I don't want to be.
They'd be offensive.
Oh yeah. What?
from
He'd be
ICW.
offensive.
Chris Tull's a midget.
A midget.
Yeah.
I'm taller. Am I taller than you?
But he's slagged like me and the lads off online before, so I don't care.
Has he?
A little bit.
Have you ever seen the video where there's like a dwarf walking around and he's calling people shagger? I think someone calls him. That's him. Anyways, people
I'll
probably
be like Hornswoggle.
we've lost people by now. He's basically ICW's version of Hornswoggle.
Nice.
Aye.
Former cruiserweight champion Hornswoggle.
He was.
I remember that. Right. Okay. Well, we've done the wrestling section of the show. That's over now. So Sunderland fans can tune back in for the last 2 minutes. We've got 2 questions that are just kind of generic Sunderland ones. So, Jack, what's the best game you've ever been to? Preferably a Sunderland game.
Yeah, of course. Although I have been to England's 6-1 demolition of Iceland when I was a kid.
Nice.
I saw Wayne Bridge's only international goal.
They got revenge for that the other year,
They
Iceland.
did. They certainly did. I'll go for in terms of like pure atmosphere. Certainly in the past few years, either the 1-0 over Newcastle when Defoe scored that volley,
Oh, half time. That
Don't
game.
want to remind us of that game.
or
I was having a piss when he scored.
Gavin.
I thought it's like it was like 2 minutes before half time, and I was like, I'm just going to go for it now before the queues develop.
Oh, he tried to beat a queue and he missed one of the best goals I've ever seen. To be honest, I would now say I know that information. It's the best moment I've ever had as a Sunderland fan.
I said when I went into the office the next day, I said to Ross, obviously a Newcastle fan, I said that's the best goal I've ever seen live, and he was like, you've probably not been to that many games then. I was like, or do you remember the Everton game under Decanium?
Oh,
It
yeah.
felt like the beginning of something new, and everyone was
When he came on the pitch and they played the music, and he came on, he was like,
in hindsight, it was a bit ridiculous, but
that wasn't a great game, but it was just a turning
That was a
point.
good performance.
I think we stayed up off the back of that game, didn't we?
Did pretty much.
I'll also say that I really enjoyed it wasn't like the most memorable game or anything, but the 4-0 against Cardiff, brilliant. Loved that.
Oh,
Wickham
yes,
scored
the stay
2.
up.
I think Giacorini scored 1, and Barini might have scored a penalty. He always scored penalty.
I was one of the few that was at Cardiff away that year. That was a great day. We scored like a last minute
That
equaliser.
callback scored right at the end.
Oh,
Aye,
when
the
when
dodgy
Vincent Tan
deflection.
booed his own club.
Aye. That was brilliant.
Aye, at the end you did.
No, he wasn't even doing the. He literally had 2 hands to his face, like boo, with his like Bond villain shtick, and he had like his Cardiff top over his dress shirt tucked into his pants, with shades on. It was a night game.
That was a good win. That a good draw. Didn't even win. Felt like a win.
So it's one of those 3. I'll go with the Newcastle one. I'll go with the Defoe volley.
It's got to be beating the mark. Who is your favourite ever Sunderland player? Actually, I'm curious to see what Gav's answer is this because I don't know.
My favourite ever Sunderland player.
What's yours?
Ooh, is just judging as a player or generally? Because Niall Quinn for everything he'd done for Sunderland. When I was a kid, I never used to get Phillips's name on the back of my tops. It was always Quinn until he stopped playing. But then he came back and saved us, and I don't know. I'll always be grateful to Niall Quinn. But as a player, I loved him as well.
So
just I was a little bit less trendy in that sense. Like everyone thought Super Kev was a bollocks, but I thought Niall Quinn was the real showpiece in that partnership because Phillips was nowhere near as good without Quinn, and I just grew up loving him. I met him a few times when I was a kid as well. I thought he was brilliant.
See, I always had a problem with Niall. Not a problem, but my brother is coincidentally called Niall Quinn.
Yeah.
Niall Bromley because
My brother's called Niall Quinn.
it's called Niall Bromley because when my mum was pregnant, they didn't have a name, and they were watching the football highlights, and Niall Quinn scored.
You would have loved to have been him then, wouldn't you?
Right, that's the thing. Well, I wouldn't say that online, but on there. But my mum heard the name Niall Quinn and went, "Oh, it's a great name. We'll call him Niall." And then, lo and behold, like years later, he was signed for Sunderland and chairman, saviour, and that's his name.
Him or Julio Arca. Julio was a big player when I was a bit younger as well.
That was good. What would you say, Jack? Who are you going for?
Well, the first season that I remember being a Sunderland fan, because I don't remember the playoff loss against Charlton. I remember learning about that later on. So I think, but when I first was a Sunderland fan, I think it was the season when we just absolutely walked Division 1. 98, 99, I think. Yeah. So probably Phillips, because I wasn't old enough to understand that it was Quinn helping out loads as well. It just seemed like, Phillips scores all the goals. He must be amazing. And he was.
The announcer at Sunderland as well back then was class. Like when he used to announce.
Say that again, announcer?
Announcer.
You didn't say it like that.
Announcer.
Announcer. Back in their day.
Also, I started to fall off football a little bit in sort of 2010, 2011 when I went to uni and stuff. And then Barini got us back into it big time. I know Barini, everyone's opinion of Barini's gone well downhill on that, but I'll never, I'll just always be like, oh, Barini was my boy for a bit. Loved him. It started off as an ironic one because he came off the bench in that derby when he scored. And I was like, who the hell's this? Like, Borony. I was like, mispronouncing him. And then he scored that amazing goal. And then from then on, every big goal that was scored, it was him. Like, we'd get a penalty, be like, who's stepping up to take it? Oh, it's Barini again. I'll never, yeah. And Carlos Edwards as well. Love Carlos Edwards.
Nice.
Oh, good pick.
I'm going left field. Stefan Schwartz.
Oh.
I love Stefan Schwartz.
For the haircut.
Well, he had blonde hair like me, so I just love.
You haven't got blonde hair anymore.
I know, I'm going bald. When I was younger, I had blonde hair. He scored an amazing goal though against Arsenal. In 01 or 2.
Yeah,
I think
I saw a video of that not long ago. Like a chip on it. No, was it
and
chip?
I was at that game and I just remember being like, what a player. Like he was.
He was unreal. Stefan Schwartz, like.
He was class.
That was back at a time when we got players who were just out of that prime but were still quality. Like we got Bold as well around the same time.
Speaking of that, I'll have to give a mention to Wesley Brown as well. I love Wes Brown.
Wes Brown?
Yeah, I love Wes Brown. Yeah. There was the game where he randomly just decided he was going to man Mark Aguero out of the game, and he did.
Do you remember? I remember Wes Brown marking Crouch amazingly once. We beat Stoke 4-0, I think. Under Bruce, and Wes Brown was phenomenal.
I can't believe I didn't see him at first. Wes Brown as well, one of my favourite Sunderland players ever. Big bad Wesley Brown.
Aye, Brown. Don't know about favourite, but I did like him.
If he was fit, it would have been class. Right, well, I want to say a big thanks again to our sponsor this week, SCFC North Yorkshire. Really though, you're
North Yorkshire.
North Yorkshire.
Tell us getting the end of the show. North Yorkshire.
That's happened last week.
Put your teeth back in.
I know. But no, thanks for that. You'll be in next week as well. We'll have you as a sponsor.
Sorry,
we'll actually get the sweets.
Sorry that our usual host is complacent and didn't pass the sweets on.
Send a really angry tweet to James, and James bites as well, so you'll get a great reply. Like if you say to him like, James, you're a knob, you'll
get 10 tweets. How's that like?
I've actually still got fish hooks next to his name because he always bites everything.
What, saved in your phone with fish
Saved
hooks?
in my phone with fish hooks because he literally, that's all he does. One time I actually got annoyed because on WhatsApp, the way the message comes up, I thought you were sending me fish hooks, and I was like, oh no, it's because I've saved him with fish hooks. He's a bite I like. He loves a bite. So does Graham. Graham does as well.
Got some. What's it with podcast? I'm doing it now.
Podcast host.
What's it with podcast host?
I'll start getting
biting?
precious soon as well.
Aye.
No doubt. Not that I want to do this again.
I think you've done all right.
Thanks. That's what he says now. Group chat later, though. Like, come on, you did the intro wrong, you did the outro wrong, you started talking about us on the outro and what I say.
I've never done that in my life.
I'm so precious. So yeah, thanks SCFC North Yorkshire for the sweets.
He's been bottling that up, hasn't he?
I know, for years. Don't forget to tune in to our special podcast. We've had like a historical podcast on podcast.
I'm going to keep pulling you on that.
We did that on our grammar as well.
Yep.
Awesome. We released a podcast on Saturday about Lee Rose with his biographer.
Lee Roos, there's another one.
Roos. Oh, it is Roos.
Can I do this bit?
With his biographer, Spencer Vigdis and Sunderland historian Paul Days. Everyone loved it. I've seen all the replies on Twitter. Everyone seems
got a good reaction. We're going to do more of them, I think, because, don't know.
Do you know what I would love to do? Like, podcast season reviews. That would be good.
We're going to do that.
Oh, we?
I think so. I've just decided right now we're going to do that.
You think? I think we should maybe record them after this one week and just release them in the future.
Oh, I thought you meant this week, yeah.
No, not this week.
Yeah, we'll do it in the next couple of weeks, definitely. Tell you what we'll do, on the back of this, we'll put a poll out on Twitter, a couple of seasons up, like four different ones, and we'll
much stayed my light after because
we'll do, what's what we'll do. We'll pick 4 out. We'll let people vote for which one they want to listen to.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that.
There we go.
I'd listen to it, lads.
Good.
Yeah.
You listen to it every week though, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do as well.
Yeah, so it's no different, is it?
No.
We've also got our Roker Rapport extra show where Graham is joined by Billy the Bee, who is host of the best and only Brentford podcast, I guess. Besotted.
No, he must be good. He was on the Totally Football show.
He's the guy who gets me on Channel 5.
Is he?
Yeah.
Billy the Bee.
Nice guy. He was whinging the other week because I've been on like every time I've recorded, I've got on, and whereas he's like done 7 and only been on once.
Fist. Fuming.
It's because I've got just one of them faces, I think.
You proper do the like your dark camera and angle and all. Like it's always from underneath. You can see all your chins. Whereas he's probably got like your professional setup, and they're just like his is more authentic. We're going to pick the Sunderland fan.
I'm trying not to bite. Trying my best not to bite.
Nah, fair play. I couldn't do that. Like.
Yeah. What? Did the video thing? Just. Do you know what the worst thing about that is?
Couldn't be asked for people telling us, I just seen you on Channel 5.
I get it all the time. I've got like aunties ringing us. was that you on Channel?
I mean, just from my job, YouTube comments are brutal.
Oh, I get all sorts.
It's brought out insecurities that I didn't even know I had. I just knew stuff like, look at Jack's crooked teeth. I'm like, what? When did this happen?
My girlfriend's like, you got a blackhead on your nose and you recorded that. And I was like, I didn't have. I got a blackhead on my nose. Like, just get it every time. My mum's like, yeah, I cannot believe you didn't brush your hair. I can't believe you're wearing that stupid red hat. The amount of people who hate that red hat. I was like, it's Sunderland merchandise.
He's proper merched up when he's on Channel 5.
I
class.
do. Right, I have to wear a hat because I'm conscious of going bald. Right. Every motherfucker in my life tells us that I'm going bald, so I have to wear a hat.
Oh, poor bastard.
I wear snapbacks in summer.
Nice.
Yeah, I enjoy a snapback.
I can't do that because I wear the hat all the time on the channel on Cultaholic, but if I wear a baseball cap, I look like Ash from Pokemon.
Nice.
My hair goes. Is
there anything wrong with being Ash from Pokemon?
No, not at all.
I like Pokemon. I've been playing with my nephew recently. Actually, do you know what? That's just going on a tangent. I'm forgetting that we're recording something here. So cheers, Jack. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
It's been a pleasure. I love talking about wrestling. If you ever want us to be a guest on your wrestling show, just
give you a shout.
Drop us a message.
Yeah, of course.
Big YouTube personality, Connor Bromley, as seen on Channel 5. Just mark it
on Channel 5. Yeah, just
it's going to be in your Twitter bio tonight. Get it in. Do it.
As seen on Channel 5. It's football on 5. I should Photoshop a picture of me and Colin Murray next to it. Get a bit of Mickey Gray in there as well. I should do that. But yeah, you can get Gav on as well. He likes the wrestling.
Yeah,
probably likes it more than me.
Yeah, I'll get you. I mean, I'll have to clarify with the lads on that.
Okay. I look forward to probably not receiving
pressuring the poor lad. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's why I did it on air.
Yeah.
Trying to broaden my horizons. I'm going to be a wrestling journalist.
No, but it has been fun, and I was worried that I'd not have any knowledge at all, but I think I've done all right. I don't think I get too much abuse from some of the fans.
What I might start doing. Do you ever listen to Total Sport and Boots in Newcastle?
Sometimes.
The two pundits, like the Sun and Newcastle pundit, they have to rate the journalist out of 10 for their performance on the podcast. So I'm putting you right on the spot now. You've got to rate Jack out of 10 as a guest.
I will point this out before you do. When I came out of uni, when I just graduated in 2014, I did apply for Roker Rapport and got turned down.
Oh,
genuinely, that is true.
Well, Gav, were you there?
I might have been.
Do you know, funny enough?
What year was this?
It would have been the autumn of 2014.
I don't think I made them decisions.
No, I think you did. Funny enough, the other day we were in the group chat and he said, "Oh, I got Jack the Jobber coming on, but he can't write for shit." That's what he actually said.
I did say that.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, I didn't.
I nearly believed you there.
So you can follow Jack on Twitter at Jack the Jobber.
Yes.
Have you always been Jack the Jobber?
I used to be at Jack_the Jobber, and then at Jack the Jobber left his Twitter account. And I was like, yes, I pounced on it.
Nice.
At Cultaholic, I should say as well for the
at Cultaholic. SCFC North Yorkshire. Thanks again for the sweets.
That's the third time you said thanks.
I know, but you got to do it. He's sponsored with.
Well, it's fine. Put it out. I think you actually forgot that you've already said thanks to him, and that's why you've done it again.
In the outro twice. What
I might just stop.
I'm reading your script.
We call you Ron Burgundy. You just read what's in front of you. Like.
Yeah. Well, you complain about James when he doesn't do that.
Okay, come on.
Right. Okay. Gav, thanks for showing up. So it's written, but I don't know if I'm going to say. I don't know if I'm going to say. I've been your host, Connor Bromley, and have a proper banging week. Hopefully, we'll win on Saturday for you. And then when are we recording this again? Sunday night this week. Aye, we'll have one out on Sunday for your morning commute. We'll be talking all things Sunderland wins after we beat Brentford, and then beat Bolton on Tuesday.
Get up.
And then beat Borough.
Get up.
Aye, knock down like. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.